receiving an award for 10 years of outstanding service to the President's Youth Award, Republic of Guyana.
For awardees, fellow Guyanese, I'm very honored to be here this evening to preside over this ceremony, the first time as patron of the President's Youth Award, Republic of Guyana. I'm happy to be able to congratulate the awardees for their efforts and exertions over the months, and we celebrate their awards this evening, and we congratulate them on their performance. The class of 2015 has done well, and we would like to extend our wishes for their further development and growth in their chosen careers. As you know, this youth development scheme began in 1998, 17 years ago, with the aim of providing young people with the opportunities for personal development, for wider exposure in their country, and for the chance to meet and interact with other young people from other parts of the country, while at the same time committing to community service. Awardees today, therefore, must be commended for having passed through the various levels of the President's Youth Award, Republic of Guyana. It is axiomatic that the future belongs to young people. What this means is that the youth will inherit the earth. It is for the youth to grasp the opportunities afforded by this beautiful, bountiful country, the Republic of Guyana. This award scheme is meant to prepare you for the future. Youth development must equip young people with the right education, the right attitudes, the right values, if they are to go out into the world and to become productive and useful citizens. Youth development must overcome the challenge of unemployment. Young people are leaving school and are facing great difficulties in securing satisfactory employment. Youth development also must give birth to a new generation of Guyanese entrepreneurs, of leaders, of pioneers. Young people who are prepared to explore new avenues and opportunities in our economy. Youths are the ones with the imagination to innovate, to initiate, to investigate. They are the ones with the interest to communicate, to network, to exchange ideas through the new media. They have the intuition, they have the energy, they have the passion to propel change, to pursue their personal goals. They have the independence to explore and travel. The President's Youth Award, Republic of Guyana, does all this for them. But it must be engineered to ensure that those who graduate from this scheme are better equipped to create for themselves employment. The scheme, if it is to make an effective contribution to youth development, cannot ignore the issue of unemployment. The scheme, since its inception 17 years ago, has indeed emphasized a 5-part program. First is volunteering. It's not a compulsory scheme, but in addition to volunteering, we undertake service to individuals in their communities of residence. Second, physical training. They improve themselves in any area of sport, as we saw this evening, culture, dance, and other forms of physical fitness. They acquire skills, developing practical and social skills in keeping with their own personal interests. They go on expeditions, planning, training, and completing adventures in this beautiful country. At the gold level, the highest level which you saw, and I did inquire, the pins are really good. So that should then encourage some of those who are only silver or bronze to go for real Guyana gold. But at that gold level, participants must do an additional 5th residential section. And this involves staying and working away from home for 5 days, performing shared activity. But awardees, as you've discovered, these activities are valuable, and I'm sure that the lessons you learned over the past months will stay with you the rest of your lives. The friendships you made will endure. The experiences, indeed, are laudable. They have helped, I'm sure, to mold your character. But although they are necessary, they are essential qualities for youth development. Given the changes taking place in the world today, they may not be sufficient. Guyana is not an island unto itself. It faces challenges. It faces challenges on our borders, challenges which have not been resolved for over 50 years. It faces competition from other countries, countries which can produce our traditional commodities, rice, sugar, bauxite, gold, timber, fish, in greater quantities and at lower cost, and sometimes with the capability to deliver these commodities to markets around the world more efficiently than we can. Guyana equally cannot expend scarce resources on youth schemes which do not actually benefit the youth. For example, you remember that 15 years ago, we had a scheme called the President's Youth Choice Initiative. Well, where is that scheme now? After millions of dollars have been spent, what is there to show for the PYCI? This must not happen to the PYARG, the President's Youth Award. But awardees, if Guyana is to survive, we must change our approach to youth development. The emphasis must be on education, education, and education. Education is essential in order to provide our young people with the knowledge they need to seek and to secure jobs successfully. It is clear increasingly, however, that while we may be graduating thousands of persons every year in various programs and from our schools, many have not been able to find satisfactory employment. I know, because I've met some of these young people who've gone across our borders to live and work in Brazil, sometimes very menial jobs. Some of them go to Suriname, some of them go to Venezuela, some of them go to the Caribbean. Many young people who remain here slide into unemployment and idleness. And unfortunately, not a few fall into the criminal justice system and end up in jail. In fact, the director of prisons says that 3 out of 4 prisoners are youth. It is not a statistic of which I can be proud. Guyana further suffers from high unemployment and school dropout rates. Probably every month, 400 or 500 children drop out of primary and secondary school in this country. A few years ago, the report of the CARICOM Commission on Youth Development, called Eye on the Future, Invest in Youth Now for the Community Tomorrow. That report noted, among other things, that the primary education dropout rate was at a staggering height. Joblessness among young people in the Caribbean community at an average of 23% was higher than many other developed and developing countries. PYARG's focus, therefore, has to be on the type of education that prepares young people for employment. Most particularly, youths must be exposed more intensively to information technology and entrepreneurship to enable them, when they graduate, to start up their own businesses and become independent. The job market is increasingly influenced by technology, especially information technology. Modern communications transmit information at the speed of light around the world. What I'm saying here, what you're doing here, could be broadcast, I'm sure, almost simultaneously, live in Brooklyn or in Berlin. Machines are replacing human beings. Automatic banking machines are becoming substitutes for bank tellers. Accounting software has made a number of clerical positions in accounting departments redundant. Young people, awardees, in such an environment, you must become more entrepreneurial. You must make things. You mustn't expect jobs to fall in your laps. You have to go out there and make employment. You must be able to create businesses in the areas of services, small-scale manufacturing, and agriculture and farming. A principal objective of our government is the creation of more jobs for young people. We want young people to be inheritors, not just of the future, that is inevitable, but we want you to have a good life. Education, employment, and entrepreneurship must be emphasized as a critical aspect of youth development. Youth schemes like this, the Presidential Youth Award Republic of Guyana, must place greater emphasis on education if it is to satisfy the needs of our large youth population. Every year, at Easter time, as you know, over 15,000 young people write our National Grade 6 assessment examinations. What happens to them? For me, I have to find 15,000 jobs every year. Education will help you, therefore, to secure a better future. And those who graduate from the PYARG must be able to look forward to employment, to a satisfactory adult life. Today, I wish all of you who are graduating from this scheme, at the bronze, silver, and gold levels, all success in the future. I ask the minister within the Ministry of Education to take a careful note of your names and your qualifications, and let us make an effort to see how we can ensure that you fit into the world of work and you do not become unemployed when you leave the scheme. I look forward to you being exemplars of the great promise that young people hold for Guyana's future. I thank you and may God bless you.